I've got some troubling news about England's royal family.
I'm completely hopeless at it. I was a really bad actor at school, and I've never been able to master the art of mimicry. But
Queen Camilla, once seen as a steady and supportive figure beside King Charles, is now facing an uncertain future in the monarchy. For weeks, there have been rumors of a huge announcement within palace walls. This has left everyone with different speculations on what the royal family wanted to say. But no one expected that it would be a bombshell that would change everything for Camilla. This reportedly wasn't just a reshuffling of power, but a hidden move signaling the end of Camilla's time in public royal duty. But what did the announcement say? Keep watching to find out. The unexpected royal announcement. Queen Camilla's future in the royal family is uncertain following the huge announcement made by the royal family. Wondering what the details of this announcement were? Let's find out. It happened at a beautiful total family dinner at Buckingham Palace. The closest members of the royal family, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Princess Anne, Prince William, and Princess Catherine, had all gathered for a private dinner and discussions about the future of the monarchy. Few weeks earlier, in a recent interview, Prince William had stated that he wanted to include more of the smaller R in the royal family and less of the bigger R. By this statement, Charles meant giving more opportunities to the younger, modern royals who connect better with today's world and truly understand the times we live in, unlike the older ones, who were all about their titles. Charles wanted fewer formalities, less rigid tradition, and more relatability. While some members of the royal family were on board with the idea, Queen Camilla was not. She didn't want her duties stripped away and handed over to someone else. She still wanted to be involved in the day-to-day affairs of the monarchy, even after King Charles dies and she becomes Queen Dowager. Camilla still wants the power, the influence, and the respect she fought to earn. After Prince William made his intentions public, insiders revealed that a private meeting was called. Prince William was summoned by the king to explain what exactly he had in mind, especially as it concerned Queen Camilla's future. William stood by his words. He told his father that while he appreciated everything the older royals had done, he believed their time was gradually coming to an end. They simply weren't connecting with the public the way they should, as they didn't understand what it meant to be part of this new generation. As William spoke, Camilla pushed back. She made it clear that she had worked hard to become part of the royal family. She gave her all and did what was expected. So why was he making plans to take her roles and sideline her like a forgotten figure in the palace? Camilla believed she could still work as an older royal and adapt to the new generation. She wasn't ready to let go of her roles. After several arguments, King Charles reportedly asked his son to go over his plans again. Interestingly, during the private royal dinner, insiders reported that Camilla turned to Prince William and brought up their last conversation on her future roles. She asked in a friendly tone and hoped for a positive answer, but Prince William's response was vague. He simply said he was still reviewing it, but everyone at that table knew what that meant. It meant Charles had no plans of changing his mind on Camilla's future roles. Camilla wore a forced smile on her face and gently urged King Charles to say something, but he didn't. Prince William quickly changed the conversation to something else. Camilla tried to brighten up her mood, but she couldn't hide the look of worry on her face. It was clear that Camilla was deeply concerned. Her future now seemed uncertain, and it was becoming painfully obvious that once Prince William took the throne, she would no longer matter. She would simply remain a shadow in the palace. This was no small matter. It was a serious and sensitive issue that required a much more careful approach than it was getting. Since Prince William made his intentions known, things reportedly changed between him and Camilla. They no longer share long, cheerful conversations. William keeps a poker face whenever they speak. He listens, responds, and then walks away, keeping things strictly formal. Camilla, on the other hand, has been trying to hold on to control of the monarchy from within. Insiders revealed that she had allegedly opposed the king's decision to disclose his illness publicly, even to some close family members like Prince William. Many believe she acted this way because she wanted to keep managing royal affairs from behind the scenes. She didn't want to lose her grip. But one person always stood in her way: Prince William. Being the heir to the throne, William had access to everything that affected the king. He was always ready to step in and cover any lapses to keep the monarchy running smoothly, especially during his father's illness. But lately, Camilla has been acting differently. She wanted to control decisions from the inside, especially now that William refused to reconsider her future in the royal family once he ascended the throne. Just recently, when King Charles was very ill, Camilla and William presented a united front as their spouses were both battling cancer. Many thought that shared experience had brought them closer, but that was far from the truth, as William's recent actions proved otherwise. Even though William had once publicly applauded Camilla's loyalty and said she had been good for his father, he never forgot the past. He never forgot what Camilla had done, how her actions had deeply affected him and his brother. Many believe those old wounds are exactly why William is determined to limit her role during his reign and make her irrelevant in the monarchy. But why is this so? Let's find out. Camilla, the hated stepmother. Camilla has come a long way in rebuilding her image. From being one of the most hated women in Britain, she rose to become one of the top 10 most popular royals, loved and respected by many. But no matter how far she's come, her past still haunts her, especially to Diana's sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. To them, she's still the woman who broke their parents' marriage. While William eventually accepted his father's marriage, he never forgot the pain it caused his mother. Diana may have died over 2 decades ago, but her presence never left William. He carries her in his heart, and she still influences the man he's become. Diana shaped William's values, his compassion, and his vision as the future King of England, a king who many believe will go down in history as one of the most beloved monarchs, because his mother's legacy continues to live through him. Although William and Camilla seem to have put the past behind them, it's becoming glaringly obvious to everyone that all of William's actions from the beginning were staged. From William's formal acceptance of Camilla, the smiles, the public backing of her royal status after Queen Elizabeth's death, even the handshakes and laughter were all calculated. It wasn't affection, it was a diplomatic armor, a performance, not genuine love or respect. But what led to this? Keep watching to find out. Camilla Parker Bowles, now known as Queen Camilla, was never expected to sit on the throne beside royalty. She wasn't seen as fit for the crown. Even Queen Elizabeth II had once made it clear that Camilla represented everything the monarchy stood against during her early years: controversy, scandal, and disregard for the royal image. But Camilla was determined, and with Prince Charles's full support, she climbed her way to the top, eventually becoming the Queen Consort of England. But how did the woman once blamed for breaking a royal marriage become queen? Camilla Shand was born on July 17, 1947, in London. She grew up in Sussex with her parents, Bruce and Rosalind Shand, and her 2 younger siblings. At age 11, Camilla attended Queen's Gate School in South Kensington, where she famously told her classmates that her great-grandmother had been King Edward VII's mistress. While that might have seemed like a dark family secret, Camilla saw it as a connection to royalty, something that gave her a sense of place. After finishing school, she studied French at the Institut Britannique in Paris, then returned to London as a debutante in 1965. That same year, she met Andrew Parker Bowles, a charming cavalry officer who would later become her first husband. But everything changed in 1970 when she met Prince Charles at a polo match. They connected instantly and became close friends. Their friendship quickly deepened into a romantic relationship. But it didn't last. Charles was to pursue his naval career in London for 2 years, and before he left, he didn't propose to Camilla, despite how close they had become. It was later revealed that Charles felt he was too young to marry at age 22, and more importantly, Camilla was not considered a suitable match for a future king. She wasn't a virgin, and her family history, especially the connection to a royal mistress, was frowned upon by the monarchy. Her lineage was considered not fit for the royal bloodline. Still, none of that stopped Charles and Camilla. Shortly after Charles left for naval service in 1971, Camilla rekindled her relationship with her on-and-off lover, Andrew Parker Bowles. Andrew eventually proposed, and they got married in July 1973. Charles was shocked and heartbroken when he heard the news, but despite the marriage, he and Camilla continued to talk and maintained a close friendship. In 1974, Camilla had her first son, Tom Parker Bowles, and Charles was named his godfather. This revealed just how much they still valued each other. However, Camilla and Andrew Parker Bowles' marriage was far from perfect. They had serious marital problems. Andrew was reportedly unfaithful to Camilla. This pushed Camilla to confide in her old lover, Charles. She told him everything, how broken and lonely her marriage had become. Charles offered emotional support and comfort to Camilla. But during this time, Charles had already met Lady Diana Spencer, and they were starting to get to know each other. Still, Camilla's ongoing issues with Andrew created space for Charles and Camilla to rekindle their relationship. They continued seeing each other, and Diana had no idea. Diana was young and naive. She genuinely believed Charles loved her, but little did she know that Charles was already emotionally entangled with another woman. Charles had even purchased Highgrove House and made it his main home in the early 1980s, largely because of its proximity to Camilla's home at Bolehide Manor. Diana was kept completely in the dark about the nature of their relationship and had even met Camilla after Charles had proposed to her. Diana thought Camilla was just a friendly face, one of her husband's friends. She didn't know that the two were still romantically involved. In February 1981, Charles proposed to Diana. He had, however, done this as his father reportedly ordered him to. On the day Charles proposed, Diana was preparing for a trip to Australia. He asked Diana if she would like to marry him, and she immediately said yes. Charles, however, suggested she take some time to think about it, but Diana refused. She said she was sure this was what she wanted. Poor, naive, 19-year-old Diana, the excitement of being a royal bride overshadowed her instincts, her doubts, and her inner voice. She thought she was marrying the best man in the world, Prince Charles. But little did she know she was marrying a man who would break her heart. As the wedding day approached, Charles and Camilla supposedly made plans to end their secret affair. But instead of a clean breakup, there were lingering exchanges, emotional attachments, and lavish gifts. While Diana was being celebrated as the future Princess of Wales and one of the most envied women in the world, her fiancé was busy buying gifts for his mistress. Diana began hearing whispers about the gifts Charles had gotten for Camilla. She rushed to Charles's office and found his assistant arranging some packages. She took one of the parcels and opened it, despite the assistant trying to stop her. Inside the parcel was a gold bracelet from Asprey's, adorned with a lapis pendant. It was engraved with the letters F and G, which insiders later said stood for Fred and Gladys, Charles and Camilla's pet names for each other. Diana was devastated. She knew right away that Charles planned to give the bracelet to Camilla that night, but there was nothing she could do about it. This heartbreaking event happened just 2 days before the royal wedding. According to palace insiders, the wedding almost didn't happen after this discovery, but canceling a royal wedding at that stage was unthinkable. So the wedding happened. Some believed the bracelet was Charles's final goodbye to Camilla. But that wasn't the case. Charles never truly left Camilla. For a while, things seemed to cool down between Charles and Camilla. Charles tried to focus on his marriage, and Diana gave birth to 2 sons, Prince William in 1982 and Prince Harry in 1984. But after Harry's birth, everything changed. Charles and Camilla's connection reignited not as friends, but as lovers again. Camilla officially became Charles's mistress, just as her great-grandmother had been King Edward VII's mistress. But Camilla didn't want to remain in the shadows. She didn't want to be just a mistress to the future king. Camilla wanted to be queen. The ambitious Camilla Parker Bowles. Camilla's desire to become Prince Charles's wife and future queen didn't just shake the monarchy. It tore Diana's world apart. But Camilla wasn't bothered about the lives she was about to ruin. Camilla's relationship with Prince Charles caused a severe strain on Diana's marriage, her personal life, and her sons' lives. Diana and her son began seeing less and less of Charles. He always claimed he was working or attending royal duties, and Diana, trying to trust him, believed it for a while. But soon enough, she found out the truth. Charles was cheating on her with Camilla. This betrayal devastated Diana, affecting her emotional and physical health, coupled with the postnatal depression she was dealing with following Harry's birth. Diana was in a terrible state and considered suicide. Frustrated and isolated in pain, Diana developed an eating disorder known as bulimia. She would eat a lot of food, only to end up throwing up. Within the palace walls, Diana was dying secretly in pain. But in public, she stood beside Prince Charles, smiling, waving, acting like everything was perfect. But this was just the beginning of Diana's troubles. One day, Diana discovered a stack of handwritten love letters from Camilla to Charles inside his briefcase. Diana sat down and read every word. In the letters, Camilla professed her love, calling Charles my darling, my beloved, and writing lines like, "I yearn to see you again." The words pierced Diana's heart. Her husband was not just seeing another woman. He was in love. Diana endured, and then came the final blow. Diana accidentally overheard one of Charles' private phone calls. He was complaining about Diana, saying he couldn't handle her anymore, that he was miserable and in love with Camilla. Diana was devastated. The man she had trusted, the father of her children, had emotionally abandoned her. She was heartbroken, humiliated, and trapped. Diana knew she couldn't go public. If she did, the royal family might paint her as unstable and try to take her sons away. Diana feared losing her children, so she stayed quiet. She hid her pain and kept up appearances. But inside, she was already making a decision. She wouldn't stay silent forever. Charles, meanwhile, knew Diana had found out about his affair, but it didn't stop him. Instead, he became even more careless. He spent more time with Camilla and barely spoke to Diana at home. They became like strangers, flatmates under the same roof. In public, they smiled. Behind closed doors, they lived separate lives. And at the center of it all was one woman, Camilla Parker Bowles. Royal watchers began to notice the cracks in Diana's perfect fairy tale marriage. It was obvious something wasn't right. They began to dig deeper, and rumors began to circulate of a crack beneath Diana and Charles's marriage. The press speculated, but no one got the full truth. Diana read their stories and shook her head. They didn't know the true story, so she made up her mind that she had had enough. Diana decided that if she was going to leave the royal family or be kicked out, she would do it on her terms. She would tell her story, the real Diana story. In 1992, Princess Diana secretly collaborated with royal biographer Andrew Morton to write the explosive book, Diana, Her True Story. In this book, Diana revealed everything: the loneliness, the palace pressure, the eating disorder, and most shockingly, the truth about Prince Charles's ongoing affair with Camilla. The book was created in complete secrecy. Diana passed her thoughts and experiences through tapes and intermediaries. When Buckingham Palace saw the book, they questioned Diana, but she denied working with Morton. The palace threatened legal action against the author. But the damage was done. The book's release caused a massive scandal and led to the official separation of Prince Charles and Princess Diana in 1992. The entire world was shocked. Although Charles and Diana didn't immediately proceed with the divorce, this separation gave Charles and Camilla more time to deepen their relationship in secret. However, in 1993, their illicit relationship was revealed to the public as an intimate phone call called Camilla Gate Scandal was leaked. The most memorable and shocking moment of the scandal was Charles joking that he wanted to live inside Camilla's trousers, even if it meant becoming a tampon. That one line was enough to send the entire monarchy into chaos. It was a deeply embarrassing moment, not just for Prince Charles, but for the entire royal family. Queen Elizabeth II was displeased and furious, both at the public humiliation and the intense scrutiny that followed. The monarchy, already under pressure from Diana's rising popularity and Morton's explosive book, now found itself drowning in scandal. The publication of the call stripped Charles of any denial. It made his relationship with Camilla undeniable. The world now had proof that Camilla was declared the #1 enemy of the crown. The media criticized her. The public blamed her. But despite the backlash and the hatred, Charles and Camilla didn't stop seeing each other. Instead, Charles had an interview saying he only began cheating when he realized they couldn't work things out. Charles's interview was followed by Diana's infamous interview with journalist Martin Bashir for the BBC Panorama series. That interview was a bombshell that broke royal protocol in ways no one imagined. Diana appeared live on television, opening her heart to the world. She talked about her marriage, her struggles, her fears, and most famously, she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Diana didn't sugarcoat her words. She named Camilla Parker Bowles as the 3rd person in her marriage, the woman who destroyed what could have been, the woman who made her life a living hell inside palace walls. The public sympathizes with Diana, surprised that she had gone through all this pain in the royal palace. However, after the interview, Diana's fairy tale marriage crumbled in the eyes of the public. A year later, tragedy struck. Princess Diana, the people's beloved princess, was killed in a car crash in Paris. The world froze. Millions mourned. Hearts broke across every nation. The grief was deep, and the blame was pointed towards Charles and Camilla. The public hated them. But Prince Charles went on to marry Camilla despite public outrage, even though his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, pleaded with him not to marry the woman who had torn their family apart. Charles didn't listen. He still married Camilla, the woman he had always loved. Over the years, Camilla struggled to redeem her image, and slowly she gained public acceptance. Even Prince William began to tolerate her presence, maybe out of duty, maybe for the sake of peace. But one thing was clear: he never forgot who Camilla was. He never forgot what she did to his mother. He never forgot the pain, the betrayal, the tears. And that's why today, even as he prepares for the throne, he doesn't want Camilla involved in his plans as king. Because her actions didn't just affect his mother's life, they affected him. And no matter how much time passes, or how much the world forgives her, Prince William allegedly hasn't forgiven Camilla. What do you think of the royal announcement on Queen Camilla's future? Do you think she deserves a spot in the monarchy when Prince William becomes king? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.